welcome back to the Spoonie Stitcher channel. I'm Shannon the Spoonie Stitcher. You're inside the stitchery. A lot of you guys have asked me, could I make a tutorial for a basic tot? Nothing fancy, no color changes, super slow, just your very first amigurumi you would like to make a tot because it's very simple. I agree. There should be a tutorial for a basic tot, but it's Christmas and I gotta spice it up a little bit. So we are gonna make a basic tot, but there's a character I just couldn't leave out of Christmas, you know? The Grinch. This is the Grinch tot. All his embroidery is so easy. I don't like complicated. Complicated drives me crazy. So this is very easy. I walk you through how to do all the stitching, but this is a basic tot body. So if you want to know how to make this shape, and whether you want to make the Grinch or not, just pick your color. And if you want to make a cute little tot, there you go. But if you want to make the Grinch, I show you how to make his very easy little embellishments. And he's not the only one from this movie that's coming. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So if you're ready, let's make a basic tot or a Grinch. It's up to you. To make a magic ring, lay out your fingers like this. So my thumb is up, my pointer finger and my middle finger are faced like this. Take my yarn and drape it over my fingers, like so. Take my thumb, pinch that yarn. My other hand will wrap the yarn in an X formation. Let me show you that again. So remember, it's draped over, my finger has pinched it. I'm going to just wrap my yarn in an X formation. Now I'm going to turn my entire hand, take my ring finger and my pinky, and hold that yarn. Take my hook. Right now, the head, that's what this part is called, the head is facing me. I need it to face downward. Going to slip my hook under this first loop and use my head to catch this and pull it. Now tip my hook like so. Spin my hook. Now don't hold too tight anywhere, otherwise you won't be able to do the next step. Now I'm going to take my hook and grab this yarn and pull it through the little loop we just created. Like so. And now look at this. You can let go. And everything is attached. If you need to watch that again, absolutely you can rewind and watch it again. But for everyone else, we're going to keep going. Okay, now that we have our loop, this is how we're going to hold our yarn. I'm going to take my hand and wrap it like so, and I like to direct with my finger. So I hold my yarn like this. I know that's weird. I hold my yarn several different ways during this video because I always have to keep adjusting. So I just like to wrap my yarn the way it's comfortable. Okay, now with my other hand, I have my hook. And I'm going to hold my ring like this. Now I'm going to take my hook and go into the ring like so. Then I'm going to wrap and grab this yarn and pull it towards me. Now I have two loops on my hook. I'm going to wrap the yarn again and go through. That is one single crochet into a magic ring. Okay. Now, I need 6 of these, so I need 5 more. So we're going to go in, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 2. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 3. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 4. Yeah. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 5. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 6. Let's make sure. Now, to count our stitches, I'm just going to pull this up a little bit. Okay. This loop never counts. The one that's on your hook, it will never count as a stitch. what you want to do is, you see these little V's? They look like little V's right here. These are your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then that 6th one's really important. That's where our hook is about to go into, so we want to make sure we see that one. This is what is really cool about a magic ring. This little short tail I'm going to pull to close the ring, but I'm not going to pull it all the way. I'm going to just gently pull it so that I still have a hole. See that? See there's still a hole there? Because if I pull this all the way tight, to get my hook into that stitch will be almost impossible. So we want to make sure there's still some room here. So I'm going to stick my hook into the very first single crochet we made, right there, under both of these loops. So go under the V. Okay? Now I'm going to take my yarn and pull it through. So I have 2 loops on my hook, wrap, and go through. That is a single crochet, and I'm going to mark it. Now what we're going to do in every single stitch around is we're going to do an increase. That is 2 stitches in the same stitch. So what I just did, I'm going to do again. I'm going to go in the same stitch, I'm going to grab the loop, I'm going to pull it up, 2 loops on my hook, wrap, and go through. And I'm going to do that in every single stitch around, because so what we've got is basically a hexagon, and what we're doing is we are going to do 2 stitches in every stitch. So it'll look like that. So we started with 6, but we're increasing by 6, so we get 12. That's what we want. We want 12 stitches around. We did 2. Now we go into the next stitch. Remember, go under that V, wrap, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, wrap, go through 2. That's 1. Into the same stitch, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go a little faster. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. 5. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 6. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. That's 8. I almost lost track. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. 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 And our stitch marker is there to tell us to stop. Now what we can do is that little short tail, we can pull that now all the way, tight as you want, so that the little hole is gone. And I am going to carefully just grab a couple of stitches on the back to make sure my little hole doesn't open up. So I'm just going to grab a couple of stitches. This is completely optional, by the way. You do not have to do this. It should just stay on its own. I just want to make sure that it stays. If you're going to give this to a child, please make sure it stays. There. Now, you can cut off the tail if it's bothering you, or you can leave it. I'm going to leave a small tail, and I'm going to save this because I can use this as stuffing. Okay, we are already on round 3. This moves so fast. Okay, take out our stitch marker, and we are going to start doing staggered increases. Now, staggered increases are used so that we have circles and not hexagons. So what we do is, in the first stitch, we do an increase, and then we do the steps we're supposed to do afterwards. So usually it's just 1. So we do an increase, and then we do a single crochet. And then in the next row, we start with the single crochet and whatever we're supposed to do. Usually it's the reverse, so we want to do 2 now. And then we increase. And then we do what we're supposed to do. So the reason we do that is so that, here, I will very quickly draw a very badly drawn hexagon. Remember when we did this? Well, it's creating, you know, edges. And what we want is by staggering our increases, we will now get a rounder shape, or we're more likely to get a rounder shape. So here is one of my tots. See the bottom? No hexagon. That's what we want. Okay. Very first stitch, we are going to increase, which we have just done all the way for round 2. We're going to go in, pull up a loop, wrap, pull up, and in the same stitch, we're going to do that again, but we're obviously going to mark our stitch. There we go. In, wrap, pull up, wrap, pull through. Okay, in the very next stitch, we're just going to make 1 all by himself. In the next stitch, we are going to make an increase again. Not going to say it with you this time. Okay, that's an increase. The next one, we're going to make 1. The next one, can you guess? Increase. Next one is 1. Increase. 1. Increase. 1. Increase. And the last one is 1 single crochet all by itself. You should have 18 stitches all the way around. Please count, but here is a quick little tip. If you started with an increase, your last stitch should be the single crochet all by itself. And the reverse is also true, which you'll see in the next round. So if you have 18 stitches, let's continue. Round 4. We're just going to make 1 single crochet in the very first stitch. Just 1. And in the next stitch, we're also just going to make 1 single crochet. Now in the third stitch is our increase. So our pattern is 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. I would say that to yourself. It might be helpful. So let's do that. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, and the last one is an increase, which is perfect because we started with a regular single crochet. Now, please count your stitches and make sure you have 24 stitches for round 4. So this is our base. Now, for round 5, we're going to remove our stitch marker. We're going to place 1 single crochet in the next stitch and 1 single crochet in the stitch after. And this is what I do. We are about to make several rows in a row that are exactly the same. And to keep them straight and to tell myself that I am going around, I like to put my stitch marker on the side of the first stitch instead of the top in the V where we've been putting it. If you are a very first time beginner, don't do that. Just keep putting it in the stitch and count your rows on a little piece of paper on where you're at so you don't get lost. But if you're a little bit more of an advanced beginner, I would try the side trick because it's really cool. We're going to start to make a little line here of stitches, and you can just follow the line instead of counting every single time. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to make 24 stitches all the way around. That's it. Just go around for your 24 stitches. This is your foundation row, so I would count if I were you, because if this row is messed up, then everything will be messed up. And stitch count is important in amigurumi. So we're not doing anything different. Nothing at all. We're just making single crochets, which we've been doing. One single crochet in every single stitch, all the way around till you get to the stitch marker. 24 stitches total. I will meet you at the end. So you should have stopped because either your stitch marker is here or here. So do you see why we stopped? See how that's, if I put it in here, that's clearly the next stitch. Okay. What we're going to do for round 6 through 13, you are just going to go around and around and around, 24 stitches every round. I would get a little piece of paper if I were you and just write down, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and just, cross them off as you do them, just to keep track. So I will meet you at the end of round 13. Okay, for our next row, we are going to decrease in the back loops only. Now, this is our front loop, this is our back loop. So these are all back loops. This is what we're going to use. So we are going to decrease in the back loop only. We're just going to stick our hook in, pick up a loop, bring it through. 2 loops on the hook, stay. Go in, pick up a loop, 3 loops on the hook. Go through 2 of those loops, stop. 2 of those loops, stop, and mark this stitch. In the next 2 stitches, we still in the back loops, we are just going to make single crochets, but only in the back loops. Okay? Now we're going to do that decrease again. In, wrap, pull up, in, wrap, pull up. 3 loops, go through 2, go through 2. 1 and 2. Up, up, 3 loops, go through 2, go through 2. 2 more single crochet. Remember, back loops only. There we go. Go through 2, go through 2, 2 more single crochet, and just keep repeating that around. Okay, now we stuff. Not too high, because we're going to need to add eyes soon. Look at your cute little tot. Now let's add eyes. Okay, so for the Grinch, we want to add eyes in the front. And I just had them, here they are, 6mm safety eyes. Unless you're making this for a child, then please don't use safety eyes. So here's our ridge for our back loop only row. We want to go down about 2 rows, so 1, 2. So you want them about 5 stitches apart. And now add your backs. First thing is, gonna give him a frown because he's not a happy Grinch. So 3 rows under the eye, loosely drape your yarn like so, and then go under the middle and very close to that stitch, come back out like that. Okay. Can tie a knot if you wish. Now, you could give him angry eyebrows, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give him disapproving eyelids. Going to go very close to his eye here. Right on the side, like super close. And over to the other side. Ow. Please use a blunt tip in case you do that. And this yarn is pulling because it's attached to the skein. There we go. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cover more this time, because he's a grouch. Then I'm going to take the two ends and tie them together. And repeat on the other side. Here's something you want to make sure you do. See how that is going upwards? That's not what we want. We need it to go downwards. Because upward looks like worry, downward looks like frowning. You know what? We're just going to add to this. I wasn't going to do this, but now I am because it's not looking how I want it to. We're going to give him both angry eyelids and angry eyebrows. He does not look grouchy enough. There we go. If you'd like to, you can add a little bit of pale yellow under his eyes here. Okay, this one is sharp, so I hope I'm careful. So we're just gonna go underneath his eye, right there. And around and kind of pull it really tight. You can kind of use your nail to go like underneath the eye, unless you bury it completely. Here we go. Do it to the other side. You're going to take your hook and go under the front loop of this stitch, and don't do anything else. And then you are going to go under the front loop of the next stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook and you're probably at some kind of angle. Now you're going to wrap and bring your hook through these 2 loops only, like that. Now you've got 2 loops on your hook. You're going to wrap and bring your hook through the last 2. That is the invisible decrease. Okay, now in the next stitch we're just going to make 1 single crochet. Okay, we don't need this anymore. In the next stitch we're going to decrease. One, decrease, 1, decrease, 1, decrease, 1, decrease, 1, and decrease. Now my stitch marker fell out, but I know because luckily we were on a back loop only, and so I can see my ridge is right there. My first stitch is right there. So the last stitch is right here. And there's my decrease. So I did it right. Okay. But this is why we use locking stitch markers. All right, now stuff any more that you want to. And now we're going to decrease all the way around. So 6 decreases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, fasten off with a decent tail. Now we're going to close the hole. You can remove your stitch marker now, it's no longer important. I just like to go under both of these loops like this, just the top loops only. There are other ways to close a hole. I have an entire video about different ways to close a hole. Link down below. And there is our Grinch. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this tutorial was exactly what you were asking for. If it's not, I'm sorry, but I couldn't just make something plain. I had to make something a little more fun. So I hope you made a basic tot. If you did make a tot, please tag me on Instagram, put it in the Facebook group down below, or email me. I would love to see your tots. And especially if you added stuff to them, or, you know, made little embellishments of your own, made them your own little characters. I would love to see that. If you made the Grinch, I would love to see him too. Lots of little grumpy Grinch faces. But where's Max? Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. Goodbye.